Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jay Rothman, and welcome to Real Men, Real Talk, real people, real stories. It don't matter the name. What matters is that we're here. We are showing up, and we're here to have a conversation this afternoon. I am excited to have Evis Heath coming in from down under. He is his home is New South Wales, Australia, and I invited Evis to come back in. Some of you from the community may recognize Evis. This is not his twin brother, but this is the real Evis Heath coming in. He's been with me a couple of times. Once we did an interview together, and then he joined us for a panel. We had Jeff Fasano coming in from Nashville, and we had Josh Richard coming in from Los Angeles. Today, I decided to go solo and fly a free bird down under to see Evis Heath. Welcome to the studio, Evis.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, Jay Roth, the man. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be on one of your platforms, my friend. And I think we're overdue.
Yeah, I felt that way about a week or so ago. Then we had set it up for yesterday, and yesterday just wasn't feeling a little bit under the weather, and decided to push it out to today. And you were so kind to accept my second backup offer to be here today. So I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot's changed, since the last time we got together live. We did the panel with Jeff and Josh, and and it's almost as though it feels like nothing has remained the same. Now, is that a true statement, or is that just a story I'm putting out there?
Wow, Jay. Wow. Nothing has remained the same. I think we can both totally agree on that. I think the whole world can really totally agree on that at the moment. And, I've just been on the front line, so to speak, and really trying to dive in deep with the rest of the community, rest of the collective, and get a feel for what's obviously happening out there. And, I know you're going to agree with me on this, Jay, but the world is currently living in pure fear. It's living in pure scarcity. Now, I look at those two words and how I've seen them really play out, and we don't have to really look too far. You can go down to your local grocery store. And when this started playing out, I actually haven't watched the TV for 5 or 6 years, Jay. So someone actually had to tell me that there was some sort of virus around. And it didn't take too long. Then I went down to the supermarket and I started seeing people fighting over toilet paper. Toilet paper. Can you believe that, Jay? What has the world come to when we start fighting over toilet paper? But anyway, let's not get into it straight away. And then I start to see people lining up outside for these shopping centres. And then so I had to take a good look and have a quick look onto the media. I've talked about this, and we can dive in a little bit deeper about this mainstream media. And I started to see all of these headlines, and I've got to admit, initially you do get that little bit of a heartbeat, skip a beat. But then, Jay, as the observer, and as I really have been the observer for a good last couple of years of my life, you can really come out and start to see the picture for what it is. And as an observer of this, Jay, I can really see two worlds. I can see one world that is the old world. It's the old one that's been spinning around time after time, carnation and carnation, if you believe. And we just seem to be getting caught in the old patterns, the old ways, the old lifestyles, the crappy habits, all the stuff that hasn't really served us as a collective on this earth. Now, as we talked in the green room before the broadcast, Jay, I can see another plane, another planet, another planet. On that timeline, Jay, I know you like your hiking hills, brother. You know me, I'm a man of the land down here in the land down under. First Nations people, Indigenous, and Aboriginal, whatever you want to call it, whatever name, whatever label. And I'm out in nature, man. She is birthed into this new earth and she is divine. You know, I woke up this morning, went out on, as Jay calls it, your non-negotiables, and just about to get that sunrise, and I was just doing a workout with a friend. And you know what was so beautiful, Jay? How many people were outdoors again? I ran into people that I hadn't seen like in 3 or 4 years. But to see them moving outside in nature, to see the comparison still of empty aisles at a grocery store, people fighting for toilet paper, people lining up for stuff, material, you can really see the correlation in what we're going to dive in today and how these two worlds are splitting. So yeah, lots been happening, Jay. You don't have to look too far these days, my friend.
One of the things I learned to really love about you, Evis, is how you can break things down and you see things through your vision, your ability to see things and interpret is very, very special. It's a gift that you have, and I know that because of how you can even break words down, how you can find words within words so easily. For someone that the average person I don't think is paying attention to how we have words within the words. Yet you find them and then you share them. You also shared in the green room a number of images, photos that you have captured most recently, and how you will describe it and explain, because I know you're gonna be moved to share it with the community today. How you are able to see things that most of us pass by, doing 55 miles per hour in a fast lane. Perhaps we're doing 65, 70 in a fast lane, but even if we're not in a fast lane, we're in the right lane. Although we have perceived it was the right lane, perhaps it really has never been the right lane. Maybe the right lane is just starting to feel safe to open up and come out. What is the right lane today?
Very interesting, Jay. Some gold nuggets you're already mentioning there, my friend. And what I pick up straight away on your vibrations, you said a couple of key words for me: the fast lane. Yeah, Jay. You guys in quarantine over there? Guess what?
Many states
We've got to come out of that fast lane. We're in lockdown here in the land down under in all states. So we've got to come out of that fast lane, Jay. We've actually been asked to be still now, to stop. Maybe we have been taking a few wrong turns. And now we're getting that opportunity, whether you call it enforcement, and I feel there are on so many different dimensions how this game's been played out down here. But, as I look at in this lockdown or quarantine, it really is giving us a chance to unlock who we are, who we thought we were, and maybe start asking some of those questions to some of the illusions that's been going on this planet. Man, I've got friends being fired from jobs. I've got good friends that are having to lay people off with families, man, Jay. Now, we can look at that and it can be very disturbing. It can be very tough. And, we've definitely got to show our empathy for what's going on in that regards. But see, when we pull ourselves out as that observer, we start looking in and really pull yourself out of the body, really pull yourself out of your vehicle and look at who you've been. Look at who you've been in the past. then pull yourself out of that and really come in from a place of real awareness. And then after a few tools that we could discuss, maybe start to let things go that may not have been serving you, that you may not have had any time to stop and actually think about and get out of that fast lane until this point in human history, Earth's history, that, to be honest, Jay, I never thought I would experience down here. But obviously we've turned up for this light show, and man, I'm actually excited, Jay. This is beautiful. It's the birth of a new Earth. So let's get into that slow lane. Let's just be for a bit. Let's just stop doing. Just hang out with ourselves for a while. Hang out with our families and start reflecting on who we thought we were, who we thought we may have been, to who we know we are truly. So yeah, my brother, 100%. We've been too fast. We've been in that fast lane. It's time to pull back on that throttle, and we've been forced to do it.
You know, what I'm hearing you say in this moment, which is leading me to a thought and a question is, although we are all experiencing a historical moment, one that is impacting immediate, unexpected for millions, change. This isn't the first time that, at least in the United States, that we were shocked into a moment of pause. And the last time we experienced that as a nation was 9/11. However, 9/11 changed a few things for many families that were directly impacted. Lives lost, disease, illnesses that they didn't have prior, that were the ones that were on the front line. But ultimately, over a short amount of time, life got back to normal for most. What's different about it this time from your angle looking in from down under?
Yeah, I mean, I can actually remember when you mentioned 9/11. I can actually remember. I think everyone knows and remembers where they actually were at that point in time. With all these traumatic events that take place, it's funny how they do place a reference point in our space and time, and we never forget them. They become a memory. And I guess here in the land down under, we just seem to be a couple of weeks to maybe a month behind a lot of other countries, but we see it filtering in from the other side of the pond. I guess when you can start seeing things, Jay, outcomes, directions in a journey or a life, then you can start marking out points to maybe how you want to see it play out. Now, I don't want to get into any conspiracy theories here, my brother, but there is a lot of grubby stuff that's been happening on this planet. And I think all of our brothers and sisters out there and a lot of these platforms and communities that you're so beautifully involved with understand really on the deeper levels some of these grubbier characters that may be on this planet. And I feel that we've been in a lockdown on this planet for quite a long time, Jay. It's really starting to show now, and it's had to show through things of cataclysms. Now, you think back in 9/11, brother, that was pretty cataclysmic, wasn't it? It was a cataclysm. But you think on this planet, Jay, we've had plenty of them. We've been sunk plenty of times. The Great Flood we hear about. We hear about the Ice Age. So we hear about all these things, and does anyone ever ask themselves why? Do you ever stop and ask yourself why these things have gone down on this planet? And to go back to what you said, many people, because we've been living in that fast lane for too long, haven't had the chance to. So on that brighter side of what's going down here on this planet right now, we're getting that opportunity. But as I truly feel, you're at the same time, you're being walked down a hall right now. You're being given this opportunity and this choice to either stay in that fast lane that you've been living all your life, maybe carrying some crappy habits, lifestyle choices and decisions and experiences that haven't served you or your family, your friends or community, and getting an opportunity to say, okay, I've been reflecting on that. It's possibly something that I don't want to go on into this new earth. So how do we do that, Jay? How do we move forward? And look, you know me, man, like you said, brother, I see things from different angles of light. We innately, as the species, the being that we are, multidimensional, we have all of these gifts. I've been very fortunate to have the gift of sight, if you want to call it that. But all of us do, Jay. But because we've been so fast, man, we're so locked down. I'm going to keep using these metaphors. That vision, what year are we in, Jay? 2020? Year of what? Vision, clarity. You see, we've been looking through the lens of foggy goggles. We've got to start looking through lenses that are clear and be able to really start creating the earth we do want to see, and possibly allow things to come to the surface. And they will, Jay. This is going to be a lot of stuff exposed out of this stuff, because even down in the trenches on the front line, when I'm talking to people out in the communities, people are asking questions, brother. People are asking questions. The old earth has crumbled. It's time to move into the new earth. Sorry if I went off on a rant.
Oh, I'm gonna invite you to take that back, because you didn't do anything wrong. So I'm gonna invite you to take back that apology.
I always try and stick nice with your questions, brother. But you know me, man. I love to talk.
Beautiful. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to ask you, Evis. You talk about the old world and the new earth and the old earth. I refer to it as the old world order and a new world order. Now, up until not that long ago, I believe you personally were living in that old world order. It wasn't until just a short couple of 24 hours ago, from my understanding of your life, that you made some changes, some shifts in your life that took some courage, that had you, maybe feeling a little bit backed into the corner. And you made some decisions that impacted you in your business, in your personal life, that has affected and created a new world order for you personally. My question to you is, how are you personally navigating through this moment? How are you able to see it through the lenses that you can see it through today? And what do you think you had done to prepare for this moment in your life?
Beautiful question. Always so eloquent, my brother. Yeah, like you mentioned, Jay, I had a lot of stuff fall away, just like you. Be careful of those words you're using there, brother. New World Order. I've heard a few people say that in particular governments, actually, of recent. And in that old world, I guess we could call it the Matrix. You know, we're locked down into 9 to 5. We're checking in, we're checking out. You know, we go home, we I was probably glued, to these screens. You don't have as much family time because you don't have time. Going into this new world, or new world order as you call it, but in this new paradigm, this new world, this shift taking place on this beautiful planet, I have gone back to who I am, Jay. And what did that mean, Ev? What did that mean going back to who you were? Because everything that I thought I was, Jay, the personal trainer, the salesperson back in the day in the shops, these were just labels. These were just labels given to me. But letting go of those things, of being able to open up who I truly am. Now, we know, Jay, that so many of these labels get placed on us from birth. So going into this new world order that Jay says, not me, going into this new world, guess what, my brother? I step back out in nature. I step back in the land. I step back onto earth. And now connecting back with her vibrations is being able to really awaken to who you see today, how I speak. My language has definitely been a change to what I see, to how I share and demonstrate who I am, not only to people, to the community, to the world, but most importantly, Jay, to yourself. See, that, my friend, I believe is true wisdom and mastery. When you can be able to let go of some of that stuff that you may have thought that was you, including pride, let it all go, but then be able to bring things and magnetize things to you that actually serve your true purpose, your true calling, your true voice, then you really do start to turn up into your life, into your true calling and the purpose that has been awakened from birth, Jay. And now, my friend, is truly the time that each and every one of us, you, me, your beautiful Mary, the guy down the street, the guys lining up for toilet paper fighting over it, we're getting an opportunity to step into that true calling. And guess who's helping us along the way, Jay? Yeah, it's her. She's given us one last chance. The divine, the planet. We've got to let a lot of things go, as people are. And now it's been enforced on us, Jay, because we've made some very, very non-serving choices and decisions that have absolutely raped and pillaged this planet. And now we're really getting that opportunity to change that. We have that choice. So yeah, my friend, it definitely is an opportunity for us to move into that new earth.
I want to take a moment here to thank you and acknowledge you for sharing in this moment to me. But now comes the question in the hot seat. You mentioned that through this process of really putting down your own armor and coming home to yourself, you have gotten to know who you truly are. And so, Evis Heath, who are you?
You want to know who I am, Jay? No one. No one, nothing, but everything.
Jump forward.
Jay, we can step out onto the street. When you start to see your reflection, of the mirrors that are walking around that you call other people, it truly is a beautiful play and dance that's going on out there. So you don't become this centralized thing that's really going to be pushed upon us to keep us in separation. And as I show you a couple of images for a presentation that I'll be presenting on one of my platforms, it may give a little bit more understanding to what I'm talking about by turning those two into one. So yeah, my brother, I'm nothing but everything.
I'm trying to feel into your answer, and it's quite unexpected. Not that I had an expectation going in with a question, but I'm trying to interpret that. What does that mean when you say I'm nothing? For me, what I'm hearing is that you choose not to put a label on who you are. You're dropping the labels. You don't want to identify yourself as describing something like a salesman or a fitness model or a boyfriend. Any of those labels that in the past you were attached to. Because with the attachment came responsibility. And perhaps truly what is the definition of inner freedom is not being attached to any type of label that describes who a person thinks they are, has been told they are, either by a mom, a dad, a teacher, even by a doctor who puts a medical code on their being and says you have depression, or you have cancer, or you have an autoimmune disease, and that then becomes who they are. So in this moment, when you say you are nothing, but you are everything, is my interpretation somewhat accurate in that by dropping a label, you give yourself permission to just be your authentic self, coming from love and kindness.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Beautiful, Jay. Beautiful.
This is like schooling 101. Doing an interview with you, Evis, is it's really a lot of fun, but it's also a challenge because although we may speak the same words, we at moments speak a different language, and it takes me a few minutes to really go a little deeper to understand what it is that you are conveying in your woke ways.
I like it. I like it.
So tell me a little bit about how has your journey of coming home truly prepared you for this moment?
Well, Jay, like our first interview that we did together, we definitely had to go into that shadow that many people are being forced now to sit with. So I guess, Jay, it was painful at times. We know that. But it's only when we go into that shadow that we do become that beacon, that light. So being able to, like I said, get in there and do some shadow boxing and be able to let go of some of that stuff with my shadow, nurture it, know that it's there, but not come from a judgmental place, and listen to that me, myself, and I that we always talk about, then you can really start to see that we start to really intertwine and start connecting and coming into the one in this body, this vehicle that we're so fortunate to have down here in 3D as well. So when you talk about how was that, getting into that awareness, light, whatever you want to call it, yeah, brother. You know yourself, Jay. We've had to go into the trenches, and how that has prepared me, because that is what we're seeing now, Jay. See, people were in that fast lane too long, my friend. They weren't getting the time to see the shadow. Or better off, they were actually distracting themselves and numbing themselves from their shadow. So now is that really time, that choice, to be able to sit with some of those shadows, or that shadow that you may have been hiding from, that one in fear. But then ask yourself, okay, what am I going to do after that? And I feel many of us that have already gone through this, Jay, this is why we've turned up into this light show. And you know that too, my friend. By you just broadcasting this, by me doing what I do, by all of your beautiful community doing what they do, this is what we turned up for, Jay. This is what we turned up on the planet for. So now it's our purpose, mission, calling, for me, whatever you want to call it, to really be a brother and sister and help some of these people that are living in this fear and scarcity mode, that, you know what, it's going to be okay. Of being where you're at. I had those attachments, but as we move into here, this is how you do it. You're going to see such a special place now. And then, Jay, we've been prepared for it, like you said. But there are many, many people out there at the moment, brother, as we can see, that are not going to be prepared for it. And unfortunately, it may not be the time for them. So it is really that opportunity. We either go forward, we know many people aren't prepared for this, or you're going to be left behind. And that's as blunt as it is, Jay.
There are millions of people that were living life feeling like they were already left behind in the old world. That was just a couple of 24 hours ago. What do you think of the possibilities that some of those people that were struggling, that were surviving, not thriving, in the fast lane, but always feeling like they were being left behind? Do you think it's possible that this is their time? Can this be anyone's time and everyone's time? Because to an extent, the playing field is being leveled right now. It's not a whole lot of difference in this moment. So what do you think? What do you think that can look like?
100%, Joe. We all have this opportunity, and it's being paved out right now. And like I said to you, my friend, in the green room before our chat this morning, we're definitely being shown that hall. We've definitely been showing that opportunity and that choice. But like I said, my brother, you've got to do a bit of work down here at the moment. And if, unfortunately, you're not prepared for this, like you said, brother, people are going to fall. People are going to fall.
What do you feel today is part of your purpose? What do you think you can do, or are you doing, to help lift people up, to hold space for them? The people that you're able to touch in your life, in your community, friends, families, and foes, as Evis Heath loves to identify those people in his life. What is it that you think we ought to be doing, and are we doing it today?
Yeah, look, like I mentioned earlier, Jay, many of us on this front line trying to help our brothers and fellow sisters through. We're stepping outdoors in nature. I really went out of my way last week in particular, just to walk around the community, walk outside, and if I saw a group, I'd go down and just see if they welcomed me with arms. And beautifully enough, I was welcomed everywhere I went. And then I just expressed, like I said, who I am. Said it's okay. We don't need to be living in this fear right now. To know that you're always safe, protected, and loved. And to give them a little bit of clarity and a little bit of vision to show them what is really going on down here. Because this awakening, it has been enforced now, Jay. And when we use this term, we're going back 5 years, brother. You talk spiritual smackdown to anyone, they're like, oh, no, I don't. You know what I mean? They put up their shoulder. They've been scared of the dogma. But now it's nearly become a cool thing to talk about. This awakening, this beautiful spiritual awakening. So it's really getting to those people that may not be on these frequencies and vibrations that we're talking about today, and just being with them. You know, half the tongue that we're talking with this morning, we would have lost them in conversation probably in the first 10 minutes. And that's okay. So you know what? Just sit with them. Bring some of those good vibrations and emotions out of them. Some of the ones that they may have been forgetting from in the 9 to 5 check-in in the fast lane. Ask them what they used to do when they were kids. What was the stuff that lit up your heart? What made you feel alive? What did you have fun doing? Did you create? We've got to get back to these things, Jay, and really stand up into ourselves at this point to offer that comfort, care, and love, no matter who they are. So that's what I've been going out of my way to really do in the last week and two. And I'll continually do it until I can see this really pan out. Beautiful. And that is who I am, Jay. Now, whether it's online or whether it's offline, which I love so much more, as we know, and I can't wait to see you in the land down under, my brother. But we know that connection in real time right now on this planet is so, so much special. And what are they trying to do to us, Jay? What are they trying to do when we're supposed to be coming as one? They're trying to keep social distance. Are we waking up to what they're trying to do to us? This is my question. So we've got to give them some information to stop the confusion, which will allow to give them a little bit of known and certainty. Because what do most people fear, Jay? It's the unknown. So yeah, my brother, it's really a time for us, whatever you want to call yourself, light worker, messenger, guru, shaman, whatever the label is out there. It's just really your time to get with people around you, because it is you that is going to be that beacon, as we always talk about, of light that is going to help this ripple effect happen through this community at this time.
Interesting you share that. You mentioned social distancing, and that's a language that we are all understanding today across the globe. What I find interesting about that is that it's pretty ironic that when we were all, prior to a month or so ago, we didn't have social distancing. We didn't have guidelines and regulations that we have today, and we have an understanding of what this social distancing means. We didn't have that yet. So many people, I don't want to say most, but so many people were in that fast lane, even though they had the opportunity to be connecting with total freedom. They weren't. We weren't. But now that the governments are shutting down the fast lane, they have shut it down in many states, many countries, and we haven't seen the last of it. As they are shutting down and telling us that we can't be touching each other, we are learning how to touch each other in a way that most people didn't know was possible because they were so busy driving in that fast lane that they weren't utilizing some of the greatest gifts that we have in this century today, this modern century, called video, called media, healthy media, this type of media, where we can have these conversations. Before we went live, I spent almost 3 hours in a Zoom webinar or Zoom room with this woman who had been a prior guest on one of my shows a year or so ago. She self-healed from a very, very, very terminal autoimmune disease that mimicked a cancer that was taking her lungs out. And she was near death. She was dying. And ironically, what saved her life was breath. She was introduced to breath work. And today she is a breath healer. And today she showed up in my life right on time. She did some breath work with about 25 people or so in a Zoom room. We were all laying down. We all had blankets on us. And it was a beautiful experience. And she actually helped me do some clearing that needed to be done. That's this type of social distancing isn't such a bad thing. There's some positive changes. I see people that are doing Facebook Lives now that said they didn't have time, and now they're connecting. They're having the courage to show up for themselves, for their friends, for their families, and really kind of come into their own. I suspect, as you are seeing, that people that didn't know what their purpose was while they were driving in that carpool lane, that fast lane, may come out of this on the other side with a clear understanding, a new vision, clarity as to what, in fact, their meaning may be in their life today. And I bet you it's not going to be what it was before 2020. We brought in this new year of celebration, in celebration, or in, as you like to say. So it's the new world order is, although we some are living in the confines of their mind, that they are restricted through the social distancing. We are learning how to create our new reality through connecting with friends and family members that perhaps were hurting or being ignored or lacking. And so there is the light that we can find in the moment of darkness for some. I would like to ask you, Evis, as you have shared, you've spent some time out in nature the last couple of days or so, a week or so. I know that you sent me a photograph just the other day that was absolutely special and beautiful. I tried to see if it could happen for me this morning. It didn't turn out the same way, but I'd like to invite you, if you're comfortable, to share some photographs and share some of what you have seen through your own set of lenses today over the last couple of days in this moment. Would you like me to bring it up on screen?
Oh, I'd love you to. Thank you, Jay.
All right, I'm going to let you take control of the steering wheel. You could get us into any speed you want to go.
Beautiful. So, as I mentioned earlier, Jay, I'm going to be doing a presentation talking about a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about. Can you just tell me what image you're seeing there, Jay?
Well, it's the global Apple store.
Let me just, I'll quickly change that. because we want to quickly see what's happened out there. Might be just a little bit of a time lag. Just stop sharing it for a second, Jay, because I've got a different image up on my screen. And I'll try and share it again.
While you're doing that, I want to share something else so I don't lose track of this. I got a message today by a friend of mine who she shared something. It was very intimate, but it was shared not just with me, but with a few others. And I'm gonna share it as an anonymous message. But it was something that just really hit me. It was so beautiful, talking about socially connecting, a new form, a new world order of connecting. She said, "Okay, no laughing. I asked my 85-year-old dad, 'Do you know how to skip?' He said, 'I think I remember.' He showed me. He blasted the radio. Of course, he's hard of hearing, but we skipped and laughed. For those who don't know my medical background, this is huge. Plus, we both laughed. He looked at me like I was crazy, but we had fun." What did you just hear, Evis?
I heard Jay, little Jay, being a kid again. Saw a beautiful, I can hear a beautiful connection between your father and son again as well. But definitely that special time between particularly father and son that you're talking about, such a special time to be doing that. But for something that you're able to achieve that you haven't been able to do before, Jay, how magic is that? So I get a few things from that, my friend.
This is actually a beautiful woman that showed up in my life about a year and a half ago into my own healing journey. And this was her story that she shared between herself and her 85-year-old dad today. And it hit me on a few different levels. One was that I have shared with my particular coaching group that I have, how I had the courage, and I think I maybe even shared this with you in one of our interviews. I had the courage one day at the top of the mountain peak. That little boy inside of me wanted to have more fun than just hike. And he asked me, he told me he wanted to go skipping. And I was like, right now? And he's like, yeah, I want to skip down this mountain right now. Now, this is a mountain that we weren't real isolated. It's a pretty popular mountain trail. So there's a lot of people, a lot of kids even. It's not a difficult trail. It's rated moderate. And so I gave my little boy inside permission to go skipping, and we skipped all the way down the mountain. And I shared that story, and then I dared the people, members of my group coaching, to invite them to go out and skip and start to have those play dates like you did when you were a little kid. It's not too late to come home. Now, what struck me today, as I know just enough about the background of this beautiful soul that felt safe enough to share this, is that she was able to get her own dad, age 85, to turn up his music, put on his station, and skip and have fun in this moment and let go of any and all fears that he may be contemplating, thinking, pondering in this moment. She had that connection. She had that connection with her dad. They even laughed together, she said. How beautiful is that?
Magic. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Jay. And these are these connections that we're starting to have that opportunity to really come and connect with, as opposed to possibly, past attachments that really didn't have that beautiful love connection that you're talking about. But yeah, beautiful story, my friend. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
So let's go back to your photos and share some of what you have captured through your lens.
So So there, my friend, I'm just about to present a presentation. It's going to be called Gone Viral. And it's really been a beautiful play for me. You know, so many people living in fear we're talking about. Well, there's me just going for a walk. And look at that. Look what flies on my shoulder. Butterfly. Jay, I wasn't the only one that actually noticed this, but only in the past, I would say 3 or 4 days. Butterflies are turning up everywhere. You know how long it's been since I've really seen a butterfly, Jay? And for one to come and fly on my shoulder like that. And I asked the people with me, I said, do you mind me coming around and asking you what you all mean, what symbolically this means for you? One of the people beautifully said transformation. And how beautiful was that? Because that is truly what we're living in. And we have these beautiful beings, you know, allowing this comfort, this love, and really coming up to us at this time. And this morning, I was driving back to jump on the podcast on the show with you, Joe, and that's what I saw beside the road. That's what we call here in the land down under, local language, Wirrakata, or you guys might know it as Kookaburra. And he had a little broken leg or something. So I went to the young fellow and I just picked him up. And when I started bringing him over to the other side of the road, he flew. You know, and I was just thinking, all these other cars, Jay, in that fast lane, like you're talking about, they just keep driving past, bro. They just kept driving past. How magic is that, my friend? And this is what we really have the opportunity to get out and, you know, be a part of now. Because like I mentioned, we've raped and pillaged the earth too long. She's moved into her shift. She's transitioned. She's in that fifth dimension now. And now you're starting to see it really come alive. And look who comes alive with her. It's the animals. We're a part of them. But unfortunately, we've been an animal that's unfortunately under a virus that's really toxicated this planet. So if you see these things, Jay, they're communicating with us. So I sat with that little butterfly there for a little while. It was beautiful. Nice little bit of time there. And yeah, these special moments are starting to really happen, you know, not only for me, but for a lot of people out there. If you just stop, like you said, get out of that fast lane.
That's beautiful. That is right there is just a reminder, even for you and I, as we have navigated and we've downshifted um, over the past couple of years or so. One of the greatest gifts that I've experienced is I refer to them as signposts. We have so many moments that we pass by or that pass us by because we were going at high speed. And I have learned over the last couple of years that every day, as long as I have my eyes open and I'm given the gift of one more day, there are so many moments like this they're there, they're waiting for us to see them, to see the vision of what can be. To have a butterfly land on your shoulder like that, it's just beautiful. I saw a few butterflies out there on a trail early this morning. I actually turned around and paused and stopped and waited to see if one of them would acknowledge me. Although it was just, I think yesterday, I did a pretty extensive hike in the afternoon with Mary. We went out to this rock that's called Balance Rock, and we sat out looking over. We were top and looking down onto the valley of North Scottsdale, and this bird walked very, very close to me, and he and I had a conversation. Now, I'm sure he understood what I said. I had a difficult time understanding his language. But he wasn't fearful. He wasn't. He didn't appear to be concerned about my presence. He got very close, I put my hand out. I was hopeful in that moment that he would fly into my hand. Maybe that was just preparing us both for my next visit. Maybe next time he'll feel safer with me because he'll know me. And he'll know that I'm only here to share space with him. But it was just, those are those moments. These are these moments, these times that if we just slow down, we all can have these same experiences. They're just not here for you and I. They're here for all of us.
100%, Jay. It's absolutely beautiful, you know, and I'm sure rather than actually thinking why did it not come right up, just feel that moment. Feel what you're feeling in that moment. You know, these beautiful creatures, you know, we've got to really dip into that more intuitive side of who we are. So that's a beautiful story, Jay. It's happening to a lot of people, that's for sure.
We have got about 3 minutes until we're up to the hour, and I believe that we've got another host that's got a show coming on live on Spirituality Gone Wild, and in the spirit of respecting other people's time. I'd like to ask you, I think you said you had something that you'd like to give away to the community today. Those that are watching this live on replay, by the way, thank you for joining us today. I want to thank you for holding space for both Evis and myself. And I appreciate you so much for showing up just on time, your time. And so, Evis, what is it that you wanted to share with the group?
Okay, Jay, I've just shared that. I hope it comes up on the screen. I've just got a couple of things. Just make sure it's come off. I'll just stop sharing again. It's making us reset. So I just wanted to put a couple of tools for our community, your community out there, Jay. And I'll just get that one up. Google Drive. Okay. So just share that again, please, Jay. Okay. So one of those first tools that I really try and help with my clients, that sleep routine. Now, many of us, we're not really getting into the best sleep patterns. I myself put my hand up and contest to that. But, you know we're trying to get at least 7 hours of sleep each night, setting up that day. That next morning, that first hour, you know, is that alarm? Is it scaring you when you wake? Are you able to now sleep without an alarm? How funny would that be, Jay? Do you have to check your phone first thing when you get up? You know, do you have to go straight to that email now? Hey, all of these things from the fast lane that we might not have to really take into consideration straight away. So then I'm talking about, as we do, Jay, we call them our non-negotiables. Is it time for exercise? You know, are you dedicating some of that to calmness through meditation, which is going to really allow to not only set you up mentally, but also emotionally and physically for that day. So are you integrating that mind-body practice, anything into your life? We know for that mental side, massive one, Jay. Keep that body moving. Now, some of the arts that I really do recommend at this time on this planet can be, obviously, a lot of people out there doing yoga, meditation, as we both do. Tai Chi, another one that I didn't put in there, beautiful, is Qigong. So Tai Chi, a couple of those martial arts are beautiful movements to really start getting that flow happening through your daily lifestyles. Get in the cold, don't be scared. Yeah, what's the temperature over there at the moment, Jay?
And right now where I'm at, it is 73 degrees Fahrenheit.
So Fahrenheit, that's pretty warm. So here in the land down under, it's starting to freshen up, but getting in the cold, it may not be getting into that fresh air if it's not fresh in the morning. Jump in a cold shower. Really get those cells vibrating nice and early in the morning. Look at that next one I wrote down, Jay. Slow down. Hey, we've all been enforced to slow down. So I don't even have to talk about that. We've talked about that. Regular short breaks. Now, this can either mean a lot of stuff that Jay and I also talk about when we're nurturing or conscious parenting our inner child. Take a couple of naps now that you've got time. Why do you have to keep yourself awake all day on this bright artificial blue light? Might mean take a nap. It might mean take a short break, take a walk outside. Go out, ground yourself, birth yourself, earth yourself. Now, diet, we didn't really get to touch on that. We can do that another time, Jay. But, I call this actually lifestyle plan, but a lot more viewers can resonate with diet. Eat clean, whole food. Try and eliminate bad fats and sugars. I'm always a good high contester of the good fats, plenty of coconut oil, MCT oils. Now, we know that food is the energy source, brother. What are we going to put in replace of some of these sugars, some of these bad fats that we've had in the past? It's the greens. If we can't get out there in the sun at the moment, do the next best thing. What's growing the greens? Sun. Keep moving, like I mentioned earlier. Bit of exercise. Jay's hiking, healing up those hills. Follow one of his videos. Here we go. Let go. This is the time to let go. Let go. Start thinking about things that you can let go of. That can be physically, mentally, again, emotionally, and that will really move us into this present. We've got to start to be in this present moment. We cannot think about what we're going to be doing tomorrow. You're being told to stay at home now. Be present, be in the moment, and start coming from self. Show gratitude daily. This is one thing that I do every morning and evening. First in the morning, I show 10 things I'm in gratitude for that I may not even have received yet, Jay. Then at the end of the day, 10 things that I'm gratitude for from that day. Declutter the mind. You can utilize some of those things that I mentioned about, but most importantly, don't get too attached to these screens, TV, phones, computers and tablets, as you know, and start forgiving. It's letting go, Jay, and forgive.
Now, this hit list that you gave, this hit list, what's the intention of it? Is it for people to, are these immunity boosting tips?
100%, 100%, Joe. I mean, like I said, we could have dived in deep with a lot of that stuff. I'll quickly show it. These are, obviously on the diet. I showed you these yesterday, Jay. B vitamins, get that immunity up. Charcoal, all right, activated charcoal, get rid of some of those toxins. I use Rose Hip Vital. This is a particular powder that you can put on. I put on kefir, high probiotic, and that is high in vitamin C. Vitamin C, build that immunity. I sometimes drink a nice tea, which is called that Egyptian red. So that's a beautiful one filled with vitamin C, D, B1, 2, man, calcium, magnesium, you name it, brother. Jay, you were drinking one this morning. I've been drinking one during the broadcast. That's my chlorella. I don't know how you guys package it over there. Get into that seaweed, guys. You've got to get into that stuff out on earth. I haven't got it with me, but the other one that is probably the strongest one we could really use at this time for boosting your immunity is Irish moss. All right, Irish moss. That is a go-getter. And as you know, I'm always a big advocate of the good fats. There's your MCT oil, medium chain triglycerides. All right. If you're fueling off good fat and not off of carbohydrates or sugar, man, your energy goes like this, Jay. Virus, come at me. Try it.
Beautiful. If people want to connect with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Jay, thank you. They can contact me. Just jump onto my Facebook, Evis Heath. So Evis Heath. You can get me in my Facebook group there. I've got a men's group, which is the Woke Warriors men's group. So, get into one of those particular social media. You can get me on IG, but like I said, easy just to get me at Evis Heath on Facebook, my brother.
Beautiful. I'd like to invite you to put a pretty bow on the show and put a wrap on it. Share some closing thoughts.
Beautiful, Jay. Look, again, brother, thank you for always having me. I really appreciate what you do, who you are, and what you've done for me as well, my brother. For all my brothers and my sisters out there, I hope you can get a little bit about what we've talked about today. This really is a time to survive, or better off, thrive. It's time to let go of some of that stuff that you may have been holding on to, some of those attachments, detach, like I said, get rid of that clutter in your life. Stop carrying around that emotional, mental, some of that physical luggage that you've been carrying around in that backpack. All right. It's time to let go, detach, detox, deprogram, because then we can start repairing. We can then start reprogramming. And then, Jay, we start remembering our divine self.
Mm. I'd like to take a moment to thank you as well, Evis, for joining me and closing us out with such a beautiful words of clarity and interpretation and truth, your truth. That's my close for this evening. I want to thank all of you that have joined me and Evis this afternoon. Evis is he's actually on a future trip. He's one day ahead of me. He's the morning time over in Australia, coming in from New South Wales, Australia, and I will have shows coming up later this week with some exciting people joining me in the studio for some continued conversations on how we all can improve, up level, and enjoy this moment in time, learning what we need to learn. And with that, I appreciate you, Evis. Thank you for joining me live on Real People, Real Stories, Raw.